A MAGA Republican crumbled on Fox News when asked who was president in 2020. It was one of the better things I've seen in a long time. And Fox News has been on something. They've been on something because they're asking tough questions to Republicans. And I also have for you some footage that Kristi Noem thinks she did a gotcha when she really just got herself. She posted her L online. First, let's just go to here with Nancy Mace. When confronted with the fact that Donald Trump is only targeting blue majority areas, here's what she had to say.
What's your reaction to what we've seen here in Washington, where you work and live part-time? And would you welcome federal resources going into a part of South Carolina with a high crime rate?
Well, Congress is back in session on Tuesday, and I hear D.C. and the Capitol is safer than it's ever been. And I hope that President Trump has the resources to send soldiers to Chicago if that's what it takes. That is one of the most violent cities in America, particularly for the hardest hit communities there. And this is what we're seeing. The Democrat Party is a party of violence. They are defending rapists. They're defending murderers. They're defending child molesters and pedophiles by keeping those who are committing heinous crimes and who are here illegally right here in the United States. I mean, they're fighting for the rights of illegals. They're fighting for the rights of gang members and cartel members. It's out of control. It's insane. And I look forward to watching the videos of soldiers entering Chicago and getting Chicago safer than it's ever been, because the mayor certainly is not doing it. Neither is the governor.
Okay. Now, she said this.
For the hardest hit communities there. And this is what we're seeing. The Democrat Party is a party of violence. They are defending rapists.
Party of violence. I'm just trying to think, who is the president that led a mob into the Capitol? Couldn't have been the Democrats, right?
They're defending murderers. They're defending child molesters and
child molesters. Who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein?
By keeping those who are committing heinous crimes and who are here.
Who committed heinous crimes? I believe 36 felony counts. Lived in the White House. Anyways, can't remember. Now, as I said, Fox News is on something. I don't know what's going on. They're on something because here they are pointing out that Republicans are all about lowering the debt, yet they did this.
On top of all this, you look at budgeting going forward, and you're on the budget committee. Republicans are talking about cutting more spending because deficits are completely out of control. Is that something that Republicans will tackle? Will you guys address entitlements?
We certainly want to, and we certainly should, particularly in health care. Remember, the fastest growing portion of our budget.
We want to, we should, but we won't because I was about to say a word I can't say on YouTube. Because we're scared. Let's just say that. They're scared. But what they actually did was raise the debt by nearly $3 trillion. $3 trillion. I believe something like 60 to 7% of the debt was brought to you by Donald Trump. $8.4 trillion in new 10-year borrowing during his single term in office. So Donald Trump has added nearly 32% of the current national debt. He's added to it instead of taking it away. I would like to elect someone who actually wants to fix the debt, because the debt is probably one of the biggest national security concerns we have right now. And also, it is truly a tax on our children. Now, another tax on all of us are tariffs. And Laura Trump accidentally kind of gave the game away here. She was like, critics say tariffs are a hidden tax on consumers. But give us the reality. And here's gay Scott Bessent. It gives me no pleasure to tell you that he's gay as a fellow gay man. It's a shame to see my people stooping so low. But here's what he said.
Of course, you have critics, and they will say that the tariffs are a hidden tax on the consumers here in the country. But give us the reality.
If they're so bad, and the American consumers paying them, why do we hear the European companies or the Chinese companies or the Chinese complaining about tariffs if it's all being borne by the American people? It's just not happening. When I talk about President Trump's economic policy, I describe it as a three-legged stool: trade, tax, and deregulation. So either we take in the income, or the companies bring their factories back to the U.S. And I can tell everyone, he's equally happy with both. He likes the income, but he wants to reindustrialize. And these jobs that are coming back, studies have shown that the way to middle-class prosperity is through good-paying, precision manufacturing jobs. And when I look at these companies that want to come in, it's incredible.
Well,
If they're so bad, why do the American consumers paying them? Why do we hear the European and Chinese companies complaining about tariffs? It's beyond parody. It's beyond parody. They're complaining because it hurts everyone. It hurts everyone. All right, let's go to this. Let's go to this clip. This guy who, this poor man, Georgia Rep. Congressman Carter, Buddy Carter, he got played by Fox, then he got played on CNN. He's just not having a good run at it, not a good go at it. So here he is complaining about vaccines and then ask a very simple question and then imploding.
When my granddaughters were in Camp Mystic in Texas during the floods, Bobby Kennedy called me from halfway around the world to check on them. He cares about children. I can tell you that from a personal experience.
He can care about children and still be advancing theories that are dangerous, that erode confidence in frankly, American medicine that has been at the forefront of global innovation and protecting children and keeping them safe.
What eroded
that is still dangerous.
The CDC was the COVID vaccine. CDC has lost
who was president in 2020 when the COVID vaccine was initially implemented?
And I got to ask, buddy.
Can't answer that one, can you, buddy? Because it was this guy. It was this guy. I don't know. Where is he? Where is Donald Trump? And this guy, he looks like the image of health, doesn't he? My God, how do you get to be looking like that? All right, and then we also have, again, on Fox News, well, I'll just show you.
They're good when they're funny. Right. That's the problem.
All right, Fox News focusing on the important things, the SNL shakeup.
And look, we saw that list of all the people now being thrown off the cast. I dare you to tell me who any of those people are. I dare you. You can't. This is not like Daryl Hammond or Marty Short or the great Phil Hartman or any of those, or Joe Piscopo or Eddie Murphy. Those were people who left an indelible mark, and they were objectively funny no matter what your politics. The problem with SNL 50 years later is Lorne Michaels got very partisan with the show. And as Fran Lebowitz, not somebody I'm used to quoting, Fran Lebowitz made an observation. She said, the audience used to have a connoisseurship in the culture at large, and that made the culture better. But as the audience got less discerning and knowledgeable, the culture followed. And I would argue, you see in SNL, it's more broad, it's more nasty, it's more in your face, and it's less funny.
Well, I would know.
Okay, I mean, who pays attention to SNL like that? It's just, who is this clown? Absolutely clown. Anyway, so it's a bad day for Republicans on TV, which means it's a good day for us, and there's some wins. Oh, let's show you Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem, oh yes, of course. She got upset because Face the Nation cut out her lies, and she's just showing that she can't even be trusted with an interview.
And the one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America. This individual was a known human smuggler, a MS-13 gang member, an individual who was a wife beater, and someone who was so perverted that he solicited nude photos from minors and even his fellow human traffickers.
She goes on lies, but the reason why she got cut is because those are all lies. Those are all lies. So thank you to CBS for doing your job and protecting the American people from hearing propaganda and lies. We need more of that. We need more serious people on TV and less people on TV talking about SNL. Like, who cares? Who cares? Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit like in the video. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.